Eric, that we're videotaping, so I just want you to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
You good? All right. So we're presenting the Citizen Core Work Group request. And so our request, I would just want to remind people, is a little different than other people's. We're representing a lot of different volunteer groups throughout the counties, the RDPO region. And so with that, we have different categories within our request. But the capability we are trying to assess is community preparedness. And so that's what the overarching theme and the ultimate goal is for all of our requests that are within our master grant request. So within that, you'll see requests for equipment to equip our volunteers to be safe as they are responding and performing capacities that they are trained for within these programs. We also have a significant ask for training, and then all of the materials that go into that training: instructor time, equipment, handouts, manuals. We also have, as we heard earlier, outreach and preparedness materials. So not only the flyers, the booklets that we hand out, but also we're looking into Z cards, which Portland has used pretty effectively. So these are Tyvek printed cards that fold out and have preparedness information on them, but then fold down quite nicely for storage. We also have some asks from Clackamas County, which is exciting to see them getting involved in the grant again for Neighborhood Watch. And then in addition to that, we have some radio asks in there, and thank you, Katie, for your comments. We'll be incorporating those as we rewrite our grant. So basically just filling in gaps in the radio capability throughout the region where the amateur radio and volunteers are involved. And then, did I miss anything? I went over that kind of quickly, sorry about that.
I just want to say some of the equipment that we have outside of the personal protective equipment is also for Columbia County that is a more rural community or county that doesn't have some of the same resources and equitable pieces that we actually have through the rest of the rural or the region. So we really wanted to compensate in making sure that some of those asks that we were asking for was working not only on an equitable, as we're talking in the urban area of thinking about languages, those different things, but on an equitable based on rural and community and what they actually have. For example, they're a lot further from a hospital situation, and providing medical for their medical reserve corps is very important to making sure that those people that live out in that area are able to get the medical help that they may need in case of an emergency. And so that's where a lot of their asks come in that piece of it. So we looked at it and took it and look at this, and not only the equitable pieces of how we're looking at things as a region, but also based on where the communities may lie as we were looking to put some of these requests together.
Additionally, we're building up off of a prior request that we had completed, which was assessing all of our CERT programs within the region to make them more uniform. And so we hired contractor Missile, and they created a report for us. So we'd like to actually take that report and operationalize it as far as how can we work better together, CERT, how can we unify our programs to the extent that no one feels stepped on within the region, but that we can still work together.
You'll also see a lot of pilot type programs throughout where one county is taking the lead, for instance, like the Advocates program. There's multiple type projects like that we're working on throughout the region where one county is taking the lead as kind of a pilot to see where that could potentially go and where that growth is. There are several other counties that are interested in seeing where that potentially is and wanting to add to that as time goes on, but we're really trying to concentrate those efforts where one county may have the opportunity to take the lead in that to be able to move forward, and so we can spread that then as a region.
Another example is the MyPie program, which Clackamas County is,
Clark.
No, sorry, Clark, the other CL County. You guys are looking at piloting, and so that's like a high school CERT program that has been put throughout the nation and seen good success. So they're going to be our test group for that. And so just the reason why we're using this funding stream and why we've matched these requests with this funding stream is because they are in excess of what departments can fund, or it's a new program that we're like trying out. So there's no sustainment funds in here. So if a program has proven itself and has a funding stream, it's not being included in this. Anything else you want to add?
I have a question.
Of course, Beth.
Did you rank your priorities
We did.
again?
On our Google spreadsheet, yeah.
That
We
really
just,
helps with
out of the
that.
gate, we ranked them, so
That's
if
great.
there needs to be a cut, we can.
So
handle
first,
that.
second, and third,
Yep.
so for scalability.
Yep.
And what is your number one rank?
There's a bunch. So
Okay.
if you look at our spreadsheet, there's about 56 lines on there, and so each jurisdiction went in and ranked it 1 to 3. So yeah.
You mean your budget spreadsheet?
That we did not include in that. So it's our internal one, and then we combined it in the one that we submitted to you. We didn't want to mess it up with noise that you didn't ask for.
These advocates are different than the ones that we just heard.
Yeah, I think it's a similar program where we've been partnering, Clackamas and Clark has started partnering with Multnomah, and so we want to expand that as that part of that piece is growing. There's our piece of that we're looking at doing. For instance, another thing that Clark is doing is a program that we're piloting called I'm Ready classes. So it's an in-between preparedness class from the basic presentation or pamphlet, brochure of information, and the 30-plus hour of CERT training or net training that's provided in here. And it's a one-day class of 6 to 8 hours. And so it kind of partners along with that advocate training to get people those skills, and so that hopefully we'll be able to present that type of information that the able advocates can use to take it out into the communities as well.
So curious about the amateur radio stuff. So does this include purchasing amateur radios, issuing them out, in addition to doing the base, like technician level training and certification or licensing?
So this is strengthening amateur radio within local jurisdictions, so none of it will be checked out to people.
Oh, okay.
Alice, you had part of that request.
Yeah, I don't think any of it's for radios.
Yeah, no, it's infrastructure mainly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, filling in blank spots.
Yeah, that one was really for an infrastructure to fill a gap between 800 megahertz or UHF and VHF, and making sure that they could talk together and making it at that type of resource. And so that's the request that is in there.
Right, and gateway modems, we helped price out some stuff on our end and provided it back to you guys. We thought maybe you could cut the cost down on that. But it's not a significant portion of your overall budget. Any other questions?
You can feel free to email me if you think of anything after the fact.
Okay.
A 7-minute thing is really worth it.
Very efficient.